about checking out Corner? Y'all, please go check out that Truckin' Chub Z, man. The dude is, and especially when him and Shad get on there. Him and Shad got a chemistry, bro. It's almost like peaches and herb, bro. They got this thing going. Yeah.
Yo, what up with it, y'all? What's going on with everybody? Y'all already know what time it is, man. Welcome to it, man. Fans Point of View with your host, Chad and Truckin' Chubby. Y'all know how my co-host giving it up, man. Y'all know he be here. There it is. There he is. My guy, Shaq. How you doing, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Man, I'm all right, man. I can't complain, man. I can't call it, man. You know, man. I'm all right. Everything running around and everything. What's going on, South Coast King? What's up? I see you out there, dog. Thank you for always supporting, man. Make sure you hit that share link, man. Gotta jump up in here one day with us, man. You dig? I would like to get all of y'all Hurricanes fans. Hey, Auntie in the building. Thank you for coming through support. Make sure y'all share the link and everything. But I would like to get all y'all true Hurricanes fans, the way that y'all bring that content together, man. I gotta get y'all together one time, man, to drop that real Hurricanes talk, man. And it's not like y'all, dog them or anything. You know what I mean? Y'all really love y'all team. Y'all are true diehards of the team, and y'all gonna give a fair analysis of the team. Everything put together. And look, I take my hat off to y'all for that, for what y'all do as far as the Hurricanes, man. I really do, man, because there's not that many people out here who are authentic in their takes. It's always a bias. It's either I totally hate this team, or I like this team so much that I'm gonna just hype up every little thing they do. And y'all are the perfect balance of it all when it comes all together. You know what I'm saying? It's like the perfect gumbo, But I dig it though. I dig it for real. Yeah, no doubt, South Coast King. Y'all give it up out there, man. Y'all do, man. Round of applause for y'all boys, man. But so I ain't got that long of a show today for y'all. We don't, man. We got families to tend to and everything else. We got business going on. So we're gonna try to keep the shows at least. I'm trying to keep them at an hour. You know what I mean? Under that, cool, but at hours tops. So I'm trying to do. So we're gonna start off with these comments. He hit me up and said, I want to talk about. I remember you hit me up, bro, and you said you want to talk about what Shaq said. He was dominant, right? So I looked and I'm like, man, I cannot find the video. But the video that I did find was none other than the great Kobe Bryant giving him his flowers. And I said, hey, let's use that one. So I'm gonna play this clip and then we're gonna get to talking about it. All right.
Is how good of a player he was. Most dominant player I've ever seen. And the thing that was most impressive about is how good of a player he was. Most dominant player I've ever seen. And the thing that was most impressive to me is that he's such a fun, outgoing guy. Loves to tell jokes. Loves to have fun with his teammates.
Let me run that back one more time for the folks that didn't hear.
Is how good of a player he was. Most dominant player I've ever seen. And the thing that was most impressive to me is that he's such a fun, outgoing guy. Loves to tell jokes, loves to have fun with his teammates, practical jokes. But before the tip-off, something happens. The switch goes.
Now, look. Y'all can have y'all opinions on whatever y'all want out there, or try to say what y'all want to say about Shaq not being the most dominant player. But I tell you what, I am not the super duper basketball aficionado or anything like that, or connoisseur of basketball. But when Kobe Bryant tells you that this guy in 2017, that Shaquille O'Neal is the most dominant player that he's ever seen, that he ever played with, that's valid, bro. I don't care what nobody say. He was you. He got stamped by Kobe Bryant. I don't care what nobody else says. Period, bro. Period. You did. But that's what he said, though. You know what I mean? And I know you wanted to touch on that, so I'm gonna let you go ahead and cook, bro. You got the rings. Go ahead, do what you do.
My bad for the I guess the lack of full communication, because I wasn't talking about a video, but I'm glad that you found that, because that does kind of help cement, like I said, validate, what Shaq said. What I was kind of referring to is the little situation that him and Shannon Sharp had. And so he sent it was either IG or a tweet at Shannon. And so what stood out to me about that was that he said his objective or his goal was never to be, never try to be the greatest. It was to be the most dominant. And so when I saw that, I immediately thought about Floyd Mayweather. And the reason I thought about Floyd Mayweather Jr., the reason I thought about him is because as much as he accomplished in the boxing ring, for all the money that he's made and all that, the larger majority of boxing people do not feel like he's the greatest of all time. So what Floyd did, which great marketing, because he has apparel behind it, he just said, look, I'm TBE. I'm the best ever. So to me, the best ever, the greatest ever, greatest and best, those two words are interchangeable to me. So it's like you're saying that you're the greatest, but you're not saying I'm the greatest. I'm just saying I'm the best ever, which is kind of saying the same thing. So when I see Shaq say, well, I was never trying to be the greatest, I'm trying to be the most dominant.
Mm-hmm.
To me, to say that you're the most dominant player meant that you're unstoppable. So when you're unstoppable, to me, that means that you're saying that if I'm the most dominant of all time, then I got to be saying that I feel like I should be in the GOAT category. But the thing about Shaq, and people may say Shaq is dumb, he goofy, but I think, again, similar to Floyd Mayweather, strategic play. If I say I'm the most dominant, then you don't have to start saying, oh, let's start comparing Shaq's career to Michael Jordan or LeBron or even
Mm-hmm.
Kobe to a lesser extent, because we know how Shaq is. Shaq gets a little sensitive, he gets a little bit into his feelings. And so I don't think Shaq actually wants to be put into that light, because then you got to start asking questions, because the thing about this GOAT debate is people start cutting deep. They start saying, oh, they'll start saying, oh, well, look what you did with Boston. And look what you did. You were on the back shelf in Miami. All this stuff like this. You were out of shape with the Lakers and, all this stuff. So Shaq has been able to shield himself from that to say, oh, I'm the most dominant, right? But in reality, the way I look at it is like, if you're saying you're the most dominant of all time, then to me, you're really saying I should be in this GOAT category, this GOAT debate, but I'm not gonna put myself in it. And
Mm-hmm.
to me, I don't know how people, and again, I may be interpreting it wrong, but this is the way I look at it, because for to say Michael Jordan is the GOAT, Michael Jordan was dominant. People talk about how dominant, how competitive Mike was. And just this little clip right here, Kobe said, what did Kobe say? Right before the tip off, something goes off.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that you are already in that mindset that, look, I want to go out here and be the best player. And arguably, from 2000 up to maybe when the Detroit Pistons dethroned the Lakers, Shaq probably was the best player in the NBA. So I
Mm-hmm.
do think that's a prerequisite for this GOAT debate, that you had to actually be the best player, not just for a year, but for a length of time. Now, what is the minimum cutoff for that length of time?
Yeah.
I don't exactly know. But
Right.
I'm not here for Shaq's antics. You
Mm-hmm.
say that you're the most dominant player of all time. You really are campaigning, in my opinion, similar to Floyd Mayweather, that you need to start putting my name up there with the rest. But I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it because I don't want y'all to put my career underneath the light. And we obviously, and everybody knows, Shaq's allowed for himself to get away and
Could you
lost.
respect that a little bit though, bro? Could you respect the fact that he don't want to like put?
No, no,
Okay.
because trucking. If you're at that level and you were the best, you got
Mhm.
an MVP. For you to say that your objective was never to be the best, yes, it was, because you gave it your all. You
All
went
right.
out there, you performed at a high level. Why would you not be? Why play the game if you're not trying to be the best? Why
That's a
play?
fact. That's
Why?
a
I mean,
fact.
not just the best, but the greatest. Why play? Because the thing of it is like you now the comparisons that he has made. You're saying that you're more dominant than Wilt. Okay, at one point in time, Wilt was considered the greatest player in the NBA. You say that you were better than Kareem, more dominant than Kareem. At one point in time, Kareem was the best. Again, all this stuff, comes down to, what era that you were in. And the thing about a big man, and I'll say this in closing, the thing about a
Mhm.
big man is people kind of overlook the big man anyway because they're like, oh, well, you just big. I mean, are you really skilled and talented?
Especially
But
back
if you
then.
really, but if you look at Shaq down there on that block, Shaq had good footwork, he had balance, could finish over either shoulder. His two biggest Achilles heels was obviously the lack of maybe conditioning and obviously the free throw.
Yeah.
But this is my final point. I recently saw an interview with Brian Shaw, and he was on, which this is an old interview. I think it's a year old. He was on Paul George's podcast,
Okay.
and he said out of his own mouth that Phil Jackson would tell Shaq, like, "Look, big fella, you work so hard during the season. Um, just spend the off season resting up, and when the season starts, get yourself in shape during the season." So essentially, Phil Jackson, in many regards, and incentivized Shaq to not maybe work out as hard as he could in the off season.
Mhm.
So let's just say Phil had the other objective, say, "Nah, big man, I know you're a little banged up. Take a week or two off, and then try to get yourself back in shape. We need the Orlando Magic Shaq back in here. You know what I'm saying?" So
Right.
that's the way I look at it. But again, Shaq, you're not sleek. You want to be in the GOAT debate, but you're not gonna bring it up. So you'll just do like Floyd Mayweather. I'm the best ever. I'm the most dominant ever.
Do
If
you
you're the most
think do
dominant
you
ever,
do
what's
you
up?
think that Shaq's name should come up more when we talking
Why
some of the
not?
greatest?
Why not?
Okay.
I mean, again, like hey, what did Kobe say? The most dominant player he's ever
Right.
seen. So again,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it should come up. But again, I know if it comes up, Shaq will get sensitive and say, "Oh, no, don't put me up there. I don't deserve it. These players are better." He try to be humble. But again, you can't be at that level and
Ain't
be
no
that.
room. Ain't no
It's
room to be humble. I get you. I get
impossible.
you. I get you. I get you on that. I like that. I like that take, bro. I would say, and I agree. I mean, Shaq was a 15-time All-Star, two-time scoring champ, four-time NBA champ, 14-time All NBA. He was the rookie of the year in 92-93 season when he came in, three-time All Defense, three-time Finals MVP. You know what I mean? And he
I
made that 75th anniversary team. I mean, so obviously other people look at Shaq like that, but you're right. He won't put himself in that in that
put
in
it
that
in there.
category. Who would you
He's
agree if
doing it. He's doing it, but he's not doing it.
right, right. So would you say that Nikola Jokic is the best big man nowadays?
I mean, I may be a little biased because I like Embiid just because Embiid
Mhm.
can score anywhere on the floor. He's a threat at the 3-point line, mid range. It's just his health. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? He
Can't
just
stay healthy.
he just
Can't
can't,
stay
he
on the
can't
floor.
stay healthy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that goes in a factor too. You know what I mean? It
Yeah,
really does. You know, your
but
best availability
but
is availability. So
exactly. But with that being said, I'm partial to Embiid, but right now, when you got to factor everything in, health and how you impact the team, and yeah, Nikola Jokic is the best big man in the league right now.
good evening, Max. I see you just jumping there. Good evening, my good people out there, man. Y'all
You know
stick
what?
around, man. And
But you know
everything.
what? But you know what, Trucking? That kind of exemplifies what I was saying. So you asked me, was Nikola Jokic the best big man? You didn't ask me, was Nikola Jokic the best player in the league, though, right?
Right.
Because what we do with the
Right.
big man and the smaller guys is we separate them.
Okay.
And to me, I feel like, no, put them together.
Put them together.
Put them together.
Put them
Because
together.
if you put them together, then the conversation changes, because then people may say, oh, well, no, I don't think Nikola Jokic is a top 5 player in the NBA. And I mean, he is. You got 3
Y'all
MVP.
got y'all pens and y'all pencils ready for this one? I don't mean to cut you, bro. My fault.
No problem. No, I'm just saying, you got 3 MVPs, you doing this. So I mean, yeah, like, nobody wants to say it, but like, you do gotta have a conversation, because everybody want to, like, people like Ant-Man, people like Tatum, people like KD. But like for real, it's really time to have a conversation. Like, but Nikola Jokic is the best player in the NBA.
I mean,
regardless of the size. Like you gotta start having a conversation. But I know people that say, well, he doesn't play defense. Well, your favorite offensive player don't play defense. So he fits right in with this new NBA.
So what works better for you? Somebody that's dominant in the beginning of their career and then falling off, or somebody starting off slow and then becoming better later. Because I mean, with Shaq and everything, a lot of people say that the NBA was rougher. It was a lot more physical back in the 90s, early 2000s than what it is now. And I believe that. Now look, like I said, you watch a little bit more film on the older days. I mean, yeah, there was some unnecessary fouls. I'm not talking about that, but I think that they seen the overseas play and how overseas players played for a way longer time than what our stars did. Like, their stars overseas, because the way that they caught the game, they were able to play a lot longer, and their franchises overseas were based around a player, and that player could have been the face of that franchise for 13, 14 years, and without him being injured, or injuries happening to him. And they seen that, and NBA picked up on it, and they adopted some of these rules to try to help with marketability, but in the same sense, air quote, it made the game softer. But I went ahead and I did some fun facts real quick, some stats with Nikola Jokic 5 year, his first 5 years, and Shaq's first 5 years. So if y'all got y'all pens and y'all pencils ready to try to keep some of these notes down, I advise y'all to try to do that. So in a Joker's first year, it was 2015-16, he was averaging only 10.7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 block, shooting 51% from the field. Shaq's first year in the league was 23 points, 14 rebounds, 2 assists, and 4 blocks a game at shooting 56%. Second year for Joker, 17 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 block, shooting 58% from the field. Shaq's second year, 29 points, 13 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 blocks a game, 60% from the field. So you see where I'm going there. You know what I like. I like defense. And Shaq played a lot, well, obviously he played a lot more defense, because defense is something that's not really it starts shifting that way. All right. It started shifting in that way. And I mean, it goes on to say that Shaq was roughly between in year 3, 4, and 5, 28 points, still 12 rebounds a game, 3 assists a game, and 3 blocks a game. In his third year, he was shooting 58%, fourth year, 57%, fifth year, 56%. Jokic was averaging 20 points a game, 11 rebounds in his third, fourth, and fifth year, with about 7 assists. We'll say that that's fair enough, right? And then his third year, he was shooting 50% from the field. In his fourth year, 51% from the field. In his fifth year, he was shooting 53% in the field. Now, I did that just to say, like, because obviously there was a miscommunication what I was thinking. So I'm just saying that if Shaq is the most dominant, right?
Yeah, it's no problem, because it's making the conversation better, though.
Right. And they saying that Jokic is the best big nowadays, and he got the MVP, and Shaq, got rocked. Shaq came in the league on fire. He came in here bullying some of the greatest, and he had problems, but you could say that his rookie year was roughly his, you could almost argue that his rookie year was his best defensive year that he played in the NBA. I mean, I'm just saying that off the top. I only did 5 years of research. I mean, there's a lot more if y'all want me to go through them. I mean, Shaq, throughout his whole career, y'all, Shaq was averaging 3 blocks a game, like through his whole career. Like, I mean, come on, all right. He plays defense. He just don't score points. He's going to defend that paint. And we talking in the league where y'all know that, you know, there wasn't a lot of threes being shooting. They wasn't shooting a lot of threes, you know. They was going to the paint. It was coming up in there, you know. And look, to say that Jokic is getting better as the years went on. And that's why I asked that question to you. Jokic has been progressing, getting better and better as time goes on, but also I can sit here and make the argument that they're implementing more rules that's more friendly for the score, because that's what people want to go to games to watch. They want to see basketball players score. They don't want to see their shots get blocked. They don't want to see games 80 to 83. You know, there's no more of that. You know, when you go to betting on a basketball game, you betting the over and under. It's something like, you know, it's crazy, 260 points. Like, are you serious? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just saying. So I just wanted to pull that up because, you know, we play around with the you know, we play around with stats sometimes or whatever. So, you know, I just wanted to give some fun stats out there for some people who may not know, but those who do, you know what I mean? That's a shout out. Just want to shout out everybody out there in the chat, you know what I'm saying, real quick. But yeah, man, I mean, and so I mean, the closing with for me with this, I mean, so I think that he has an argument to say that he's the dominant big. I think that Shaq should be mentioned. That's me though. I think he should be mentioned when people are talking about some of the greatest to play the game, because a lot of people in the basketball community that play pro in basketball believe that Shaq should be mentioned. And who am I to say that they're wrong? You know what I mean? I wasn't out there on the floor in basketball, so I'm not going to say that. And I mean, statistically looking, I just read some of the stats. I mean, he came in on fire. He came in. He played a lot. He battled through injuries, took a toll on his body because he wasn't staying in shape. So much other stuff going on, and like you said, I know that came to hamper him. And then he fell off in his career. He did. He degressed. He tremendously. You know, as time went on. But you can argue, like I said, though, but you can also make the argument for Shaq that he played in roughly the toughest NBA there is today. So, I mean, if you got anything else to add on that, bro, go ahead, bro. I mean, I just gave you the stats. Let you have the floor right now.
No, that's all I, you know, I kind of wanted, because like I said, when I saw it, I said I immediately thought about Floyd Mayweather. It's like it's the only difference is Floyd is more flamboyant about it. Right? Floyd will tell you, you know, hey, anytime someone puts a microphone in his face, while Shaq is more humble. And what I'm kind of taking away is that the ones that try to be the most humble, they're the ones that, when the cameras are off, they're the main ones saying how we saw like where Rudy Gobert tried Shaq, right? And we saw real Shaq, like, bro, you know what I do to you. So like that's, I mean, like that's the type of time that he really on, but you just poked you just gotta poke
that same energy, Shaq. Keep that same energy, Shaq.
He's not gonna
come out and keep that same energy, Shaq. If you think you should be the greatest, campaign and be the greatest. We telling you here on the fans' point of view, Shaq, keep the same thing, bro. Keep that energy up. You got the charisma and everything. There ain't no time to be humble, Shaq. Ain't no time to be humble, Shaq. Come out and do it. Yeah, you got the stats. Nobody care about you falling off later in your career. I know I don't. I mean, that's not gonna stop me from being a Shaq fan. I had Shaq food. I had Shaq shoes out of Walmart. I had a ball. I had the Reeboks. I had, you know what I'm saying? Like, go, come on, Shaq. Keep the same energy, bro. Keep it up. Keep it up. Could be. That's all we saying. That's all we saying. That's all. All right. So I know this is what y'all been waiting for. Our our overrated teams, college football teams, and our underrated college football teams. I went ahead and had the liberty of making slides and everything. I hope they're to y'all liking, that it keeps you peeled to your screen. Hit that like button, hit that share